I guess I jumped the gun a little bit there because I was thinking. All right, hello guys. So I guess I jumped the gun a little bit. I normally wait till about 5 seconds to start before I get going. Yes, you are, Toys. You usually are the first one here. There you go. So, anyways, so I guess we are getting started even a little bit earlier than even usual because as I said, I usually try to start about 5 seconds before. Um, but as I was looking at the clock, I maybe panicked a little bit, thinking that we were getting down to the 5 seconds. But anyway, so Toys, it looked like just you and me thus far to start it off. So how you doing? How was your day today? Hopefully everything went well, and I'll be right back. Just gonna go off camera for a quick moment, and then be right back. Mike starts earlier, quick. People go buy lottery tickets. Oh God, it's been nice. Finished painting my 13-inch foot soldier. Okay, that's cool. Making another one. Okay, that sounds cool. And as usual, the counter is being screwy. Making another one. Okay, that sounds cool. And apparently, I forgot to mute my YouTube screen there. Ah. Then I'm going to buy the shredder STL files to make him. Okay, well, that sounds cool. Yeah, so Bat Goat actually got here just as we were wrapping up. his last comments there were, "Hey, mess," and then I said, "You just missed us." uh, Oh yeah, there's two of us. I guess we'll wait a few minutes, see if some more people come in. We get started here. Now a third person. Hello, third person. And as always, of course, guys, I do like and appreciate all likes and shares. It does help with the algorithm and helps hopefully get some more people in here. Um, as we hopefully oh yeah, thing back goat, late goat. Yeah. So, anyways. All right. So, anyways, so now we're back up to 3 again. All right. Hopefully, we can keep it at that. And I do thank you guys for the likes and shares. That does help with the algorithm. Let's see, and back down to 3 again. 3 is a magic number. Yes, it is. It's a magic number. Let me see. Just remind myself a little bit of what's going on. Hmm. All right, so let's see. Still only three of us. We're 5 minutes in. So I know it does seem to be there's one other person watching. Hopefully your day's going well as well, whoever that may be. I know you're probably just feeling like looking. That's fine. Um, so let's see. Let's see. Yeah, went and just got my prescriptions today. Pretty much. It's been a normal day for me. Nothing out of the ordinary. Oh, there we go. 80. We haven't seen you in a few days. How you doing? See. Hi, I watched an old music video today. Aha, and it was drawn. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Take on me, take me on. I'll be gone in a day. I'm not going to go full falsetto on you guys there. Try to hit that high note. So how have you been, 80? We haven't seen you in a few days. Yes. Hey there, beautiful. Yep. Anyways. And now we're back up to 4 people. That's great. Always, guys, of course, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares. That does help with the algorithm. See, we're now at 7 minutes, and we might be getting close, or 7:21 or so. So looks like we are possibly getting into the. I took a much needed break from the internet. You were stressing out from being online too much? Well, we missed you. Hopefully you're back. Hopefully you'll get some enjoyment out of what we talk about. Let's see. We're coming up on 8 minutes now. So, okay, we're just past the 8-minute mark. We got like 4 people in here, so I guess it'll be a good time to talk about what we'll be going through tonight. So I've got 5 stories tonight, all from Bounding into Comics. Got 3 that are comics related, 1 anime related, and 1 that's kind of classic cartoon television related. So man, I really wish that this connection on StreamYard would stay stable. Yeah, well, anyways. That is so nice to know why I came here. I like you guys a lot. And I like you, my. Well, thank you for that, 80. That's nice of you to say. Anyways, just trying to here. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about what's going to be going on for tonight. So as I said, I have 5 stories, all from Bounding into Comics. Let me see. So we got like the Arc Tunes review from yesterday. That we'll probably be starting off with that, and then also from there, we also have a couple other comic related stories. some news on a new Harley Quinn television series, as well as Chuck Dixon talking about uh, casting choice of, I guess, an upcoming Batman show, what have you, where Dave Bautista, former WWE wrestler, has been cast in the role of Bane. Also, there was some news that came out of Anime Matsuri. There was some kind of rumor about one of the Japanese voice actresses apparently was supposed to be hosting a quote-unquote anime sex party. So that will get into that article. And there was a rumor, though, I guess, from what I understand, based on what little I've read of the header and all that. And then there's also a group called the Nacelle Company is going to be doing a remake of the 1980s Rankin-Bass classic Silverhawks. So those are the stories that we'll be getting into tonight. So before let me go off camera for a quick sec to take care of something real quick, and then I will be right back, and we'll get started on the news stories. Alrighty, then let's get to these articles now. All right. So anyways, and there we go. There's that. All right. So the first one we're going to hit up here, the first article we're going to hit up is this ArcTunes review. ArcTunes Roundup, July 14th. So basically from yesterday. Article written by the Dark Herald, published yesterday. Welcome to the ArcTunes Roundup, bounding into comics, weekly look at some of the best in new and classic comics from Archaven Comics has to offer. That Archaven Comics has to offer. Chicago Typewriter. Chicago Typewriter is ArcTunes' groundbreaking Roaring 20s urban fantasy. The 1920s are a deeply intriguing period in which to set a fantasy story, which is true. A lot of, you had the time of like prohibition going on, had, what they called it was called the Roaring 20s. You had flappers and all that. It was before the Great Depression, as it were. So as we continue on here, let's see. Think about it. You are on a cusp between two worlds. A mere 20 years before Chicago looked like this. So they're talking about this is the way Chicago looked in the 1940s. Source public domain via Wikimedia Commons. Okay. Gaslight, carriages, and horses. There were changes to our world between 2000 and 2020, but it was nothing like the tectonic shift between 1900 and 1920. Electric wires everywhere. You don't need a match to light up a room. You just flip a switch. The horses have been replaced by cars, and life is now moving at a pace that would have been insane to contemplate to men born 40 years before, which would have been like 1880s, basically. And of course, initially, cars, you know what cars were called before they were called cars or automobiles? The original term for them was horseless carriages. A little bit of history for you there. So they're talking about horseless carriages, is the way they would put it. The memories of candlelit, horse-powered world belong to the minds of young people, not old ones. A time when magic was real wasn't from a centuries gone era. It was something from your boyhood. In the most recent episode of Chicago Typewriter, Emilio has finally tracked down the being who stole the soul from his beloved Catherine. And yes, Catherine, dance for me. It has been quite some time since I've seen beauty quite like yours. You remind me so much of my Elaine. Or Chicago Typewriter. Emilio is not the unreasonable type of guy. He is perfectly willing to try and talk things out. Lies! You give them lies, selling them false love by whatever means necessary. Ya care not for the lives above that ya ruin by such thievery. Ya only care for the reward ya reap, Juro. Cat is no reward, not for the likes of ya. Ya didn't earn her love, and I doubt she holds anything for a lowly soul trafficker like yourself. Chicago. Of course, sometimes he lets his Chicago typewriter do the talking for him. Tell him they'll just have to wait. Grey Claw from Brazilian powerhouse Super Prumo comes the new adventures of the classic Brazilian comic book character, the Grey Claw. After having covered the extensive history of the character, we are now getting into today's version of the character. Do, 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 do. Started in the Sodasi sector, human organs, adenocrine, and children processing. In 10 minutes, the entire northeast area became lava. Grey Claw knows how to make a first impression. Can't see you, Chen. It's a message. Before. Let's see what if you guys are saying anything or have been saying anything since. A couple of things here. Let's see. My great grandmother was a bootlegger. My great grandfather raised the children. I loved her. My wife went out today and she got me a shirt. I opened it up and it read, "Grumpy old bastard." I'm wondering if she's trying to tell me something. Maybe she's tired of you being stuck in the house all the time. That could be it. I think she's saying she loves you, buying you a shirt. Yeah, that could be it too. Chuck Dixon's Avalon. For the first time, we will now turn to the legend Chuck Dixon's Avalon. Quote, from the mean streets of Moseley to the oceanfront villas of Diamond Beach, crime affects everyone in Avalon, and the presence of the superhumans known around the city as quote-unquote specials hasn't necessarily made life for the average citizen any better, unquote. This is a special treat for those who are big fans of Dixon from his days on The Punisher. Here's some more of the comic here. A little harder to read, though. Oh, that's got to be something scary. These guys are wrapped their face up. Avalon. This is my street, my store, my hood. Stomp. However, Avalon's heroes don't have the Punisher's motivation. Okay, those two won't bother you anymore. How about something for the effort? Effort? Avalon clearly isn't the island of King Arthur's resting place. Nope. Chuck Dixon presents Mystery. This week's spotlight is a pre-code horror gem. EC Comics honestly gets more credit than it deserves. I am not saying that Gain's stories were bad, but the gross out scenes were usually at the expense of the actual story. The tale of suspense takes its time and builds. Got the bird. The statue's safe. That's what's important. Help me unpack it. Horror offering number 1. Ran, are you mad? What are you doing with that dead squirrel in the house? It's an offering, Janet. The statue needs a daily offering. I can't explain it, but something forced me to kill the animal and bring it here. Oh, there is Janet, but you. Oh, wait. Ran, you've sacrificed your health, your money, and even your sanity to that dreadful statue. Get rid of it. There's nothing left for you to sacrifice to it. Oh, but there is, Janet. You. Oh boy, talking about a horror story. That's it for this week's ArcToons Roundup. If you would like to see your comic book on ArcToons, please send your submission to submissions@archaven.com. ArcToons' motto is great stories belong to the world. If you would like to support the website, please consider buying a subscription. While Archaven titles on ArcToons will remain free to all forever, independent creators will soon have the option of being directly supported by their patrons. See you next week. There's that story. There's a nice little preview of some things. Let's see. And Toys comment maybe 80. Okay. All right. So, anyways, according to this, it looked like there's only 3 of us here. It's 80 Toys and me right now. Hopefully, some of the rest of the guys will get in here soon. We did have a peak of 5 earlier. So, anyways, getting on to the next story here. Let me see where are we at on the. So we're 24 minutes in. Okay. Alrighty then. So, there's an interesting, and then of course you got. So it looks like you got Poison Ivy and Harley making out there. You got Commissioner Gordon, Batman, Livewire, Batgirl, a couple other characters all watching. So let's see. HBO Max's Harley Quinn series gets comic spinoff Harley Quinn, the animated series. The Eat, Bang, Kill tour. Article by John F. Trent. published earlier today, July 15th. All right. In their latest issue of DC Connect, DC Comics showed off their new Harley Quinn series, spinning out the Harley Quinn HBO Max animated show. The series is titled Harley Quinn, the Animated Series, the Eat, Bang, Kill Tour. The new series will be 6 issues in length. It is written by T. Franklin with pencils and inks by Max Sarin. The first issue will feature a cover by Max Sarin, as well as a variant cover by Michael Cho, and a 125th variant cover by Davi. And here, I guess, is the cover spinning out of the hit HBO Max show. All right, the one in the upper right-hand corner there might be Catwoman, it looks like. It did give us a bit more of a DC Connect number 14. See what you guys are saying thus far about all this. Batgoat, Leto, Woody, May. Well, we got 4 people in here now, so that's good. As always, guys, of course, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares. That does help with the algorithm, and hopefully we can get some more people in here. The official description reads, quote, Harley and Ivy on the road trip of the century, following the wedding disaster of the decade. Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy end up on the run from Commissioner Gordon and the GCPD, unquote. It concludes, quote, but as fun as all that sounds, Ivy still worries over leaving Kite Man at the altar. Luckily, Harley's got the perfect scheme to shake her out of her wedding blues, unquote. Writer T. Franklin recently confirmed that Harley will be a, quote, hella queer, unquote, in the series. Oh boy! She wrote on Twitter, Harley Quinn is hella queer, quote unquote. Boy. Here we go again. Oh, well. She's also previously revealed that she will be telling her own life story through the series. Of course, because that's what everybody wants to see, right? We all want to see the author's story in the and they wonder why they're not selling the books. Don't be too harsh. Wicked Wiccans can be scary. Laugh out loud. And they wonder why they're not selling the books, their books. She's also previously revealed that she will be telling her own life story. Oh, wait, we saw that part. She wrote on Twitter, quote, I got tons of stories to tell, and I'm telling them all. Good, bad, ugly. My story ain't a good one. It's downright ugly, but I'm telling them, unquote. Why? You want to not sell your book? It's kind of pushing your own life and your own agenda more important than making money, you there, young lady? Quote, told some of my life story in Jock Joint, Bingo Love, and The Outfit. Hell, I haven't even heard of any of those books. Hell, I'm telling some in Harley Quinn, unquote, she added. Of course, because those total absentee books that nobody probably has even heard of sold so well that now you're gonna put yourself into Harley Quinn. Okay. Franklin also indicated that Scarecrow will show up in the series. She tweeted, quote, "Hey Rahul Kohli, I'm bringing your star Scarecrow character back in my run of Harley Quinn. I'd love to talk to you about how you put your all in this character. My DM's open if you want to slide in there." Following the publication of this article, Franklin took to Twitter to clarify the Scarecrow will not be showing up in the series. She wrote on Twitter, quote, "LMFAO, why they took my flirting tweet with Rahul and believe Scarecrow is in the series. I'm creamy. This isn't true." Unquote. Oh God. Okay, you're a little loopy there. The series arrives in on comic book shelves on September 14th, 2021. Um, Editor's note: T. Franklin provided an update on Scarecrow's inclusion. The article has been updated to include that's basically what the stars, I guess, are all about. Okay. But the way she said it did make it seem like that's what she was actually saying. And we're back down to 2 people. Come on, let's get more people in here. Alrighty then. Let's see now. Well, we're back up to 4 people. That's the 32-minute mark there. 32. All right, so let's see how everybody's doing here. And I would seem we have some lurkers in here tonight. That's cool. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. So, anyways, here's the next article we're going to be looking at. We're going back to Chuck Dixon a little bit here. Bane creator Chuck Dixon says Dave Bautista is perfect casting choice for the Batman villain. I would have to kind of agree with that because I think he does seem to have much of the same kind of body frame that Bane in the comics and even on his animated appearances did. John F. Trent, the article is by John F. Trent, published earlier today. Bane creator Chuck Dixon recently detailed that he believes Drax actor Dave Bautista is the, quote, perfect casting choice, unquote, for the infamous Batman villain. Dixon's comments about Bautista came during his recent Ask Chuck Dixon episode on YouTube. Again, I think if you think about it, Dave Bautista is a good choice for Bane. I think they both have a very similar body type there. Dixon was asked by Kev K-Man, quote, how would you feel about Dave Bautista playing Bane, unquote. Dixon responded, quote, well, I feel really good about it since he seems eager to play the character. And he is a Hispanic gentleman, an hombre, and seems to be a real smart guy. So he'd be able to play that aspect of Bane. And of course, obviously, he has the physicality to play my favorite Batman villain, unquote. Dixon continued, quote, so yeah, I'd feel pretty good about it. and because he's so eager to do it, unquote. Yeah, I could see that. I could see now. Again, for those of you who don't know who they're talking about, Dave Batista is the same guy who was the former WWE world heavyweight and heavyweight champion. Okay, this is the same guy who came up with the Batista bomb. Okay, so if you guys remember his look, right? If you guys remember his physical presence, he does have the look where he could play Bane. He's pretty stocky there in that regard. So see, if I had a cam, I would do an Anne Bonnie move to help you, Mike. So you need a cam 80. Batista is typecast as the big dumb. Well, okay, but Bane's not exactly a dumb guy. He's actually a big smart guy. I mean, you know, Bane's the guy who escaped Santa Prisca prison in DC Comics, and he's the guy who ended up breaking Batman's back, which gave us the character Azrael. No need for one. No need for one. I just wish I had one to help Mike views to increase. What you mean? Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. How do you feel that having a camera, well, you having a camera, do, I mean, yeah, that might help when we have like the open mic nights and you come on and stuff like that. If that's what you mean. Um, um, Bane's been portrayed as intellectually challenged more often than not. Female pirate flashback, boobs, stuns, and I strike. Uh, 80, you have a Facebook at all by any chance? Just asking because I mean, I might want to, you know, might want to. I mean, if you don't want to say, that's fine too. Nope. All right. 80 going to flash us. Watch out. Yeah, but I don't think if you're getting a camera because you think that would be a good idea to be flashing everybody, I don't think YouTube would be too happy with that. I think that would be against their policy. Excuse me a moment while I go off camera. Be right back. Anyways, in the depictions I've seen Bane in, they have usually said he's, pretty smart. The DCAU, and then of course his portrayal on Young Justice as well. In Young Justice, he's actually a crime boss, I believe. I thought I was joking about the flashing mic. Jeez, I did not mean to embarrass anyone of them. I'm not embarrassed, Haiti. I'm not embarrassed. I was just pointing out I don't think my only point was if what you were believing was that maybe you'd help me get more views by flashing people. I don't. Well, all I was saying in that was, I don't think you. I think if anything, you'd actually do more harm than good, because YouTube might shut me down for that. That might be against their um like policies. That's all I was saying in that. I don't know if that is actually what you intended to convey, but I was just giving the possible outcome. Anyways, let's get back to the story here. However, Dixon did note, quote, but you kind of have to caution, because Facebook is full of postings about this person would love to play that character, and this person would love to play that character, or this person would love to direct a movie about this, unquote. It's sort of wishful thinking. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. Which is a good point there. If you're getting this because you're getting it off Facebook, off social media, whatever, you got to take it with a grain of salt. You got to take it with kind of a grain of salt. So Dixon then asserted, quote, I think Batista is a perfect casting choice, but it's not up to me, and it's not up to me, it's up to up to a bunch of agents, because they seem to run Hollywood these days. He concluded, but maybe someday it will happen. I'd like to see that, unquote. Excuse me again, guys. Sorry about this. All right, I'm back. Let's see. Tori said, laugh out loud, and then Edie replied to herself, you should be ashamed of yourself. Huh? Tori, I think she was saying that she should be ashamed of herself for possibly suggesting that. But anyway, let's get back to this article. Looks like Toy just popped up. Had to refresh when what I missed. Not much. Batista recently made headlines when he declared he wants to play Bane and even had a meeting with Warner Brothers and DC Comics people to try and make it happen. Batista was asked what DC character he'd like to play given the chance. He responded, "Oh, it would be Bane all day long. I've made no secret about that." And again, I would agree that would be a good. I think that would be a good fit. He's got the look. That's definite. He then detailed the meeting he had with Warner Brothers and DC Comics. Quote, "I want to play Bane so bad I went to Warner Brothers, had an appointment with them, had an appointment with DC, walked in the door and said, quote, I want to play Bane, unquote. I'm not kidding, unquote." As for the response, Batista relayed, they were a little like, quote, "Whoa, we're not even casting Bane," unquote. I was like, quote, "I don't care. I'm playing him," unquote. Yeah, what do you do when a 6'5", 300-pound man comes bursting into your studio and says, "I'm playing this character. I'm playing this character. I don't care what you say. I'm playing this character." What do you say to that? It's like, if we don't cast this guy, he's going to kill us. And I say that jokingly, of course. Joke, joke, joke. I do not believe Bane would actually kill anybody over not being cast as Bane. That was a joke. Hey, look, it's Batgoat. Hey, all. Hey, Batgoat, I see you're late and very... oh, boy. Mike should hotkey the mute button. Yeah. Anyways, I'll be right back, guys. I like the heavy breathing. Well, that's just me trying to clear out my nose a bit. But anyways, yeah, Batgoat. Sorry you got in late last night. It was just kind of a low energy night, so we kind of wrapped up pretty quick. Sorry you missed out. As you know, you can always go back and rewatch stuff if you want to go back and look at what we talked about. But you made it in good time tonight. We're kind of in the middle of the stories. There are 5 stories tonight, all from Bounding into Comics. So we're actually going through pretty bleep 80. And again, I do thank you guys for all the likes and shares. That does help with the algorithm. Hopefully we can get more people in, over time. Anyways, back to the article here. Bane was created by Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan and made his first appearance in Batman Vengeance of Bane #1 back in 1993. So a year after, of course, a year after the after the premiere of Batman the Animated Series. In the video above, Dixon detailed just how Bane was created, saying, quote, I'd been on the Batman books a while. In brackets, Graham Nolan was just starting out, and they assigned me to create Bane. And I knew Graham was going to be the artist on it, so I brought Graham in early. They really worked. Smock. Nightfall, trade paperback #1. Nightfall was the infamous issue where Bane broke Batman. Where the infamous storyline where Bane broke Batman's back. Try saying that 3 times fast. Bane break Batman's back, or Bane broke Batman's back. He continued, quote, as soon as I got home from the meeting with the Bat editors, I got Graham on the phone. I said, quote, we got to start thinking about what this guy is going to look like, unquote. This was even before he had a name, unquote. Well, okay. Quote, and Graham was the one who suggested the luchador look and also suggested that he be hairy and kind of had a skin problem. Because he's addicted to a super steroid, a human growth hormone. God knows what is venom, and the concoction that powers Bane, unquote, Dixon added. Now, in later Kanan, of course, they made venom a derivative of an earlier drug that was used by DC Comics hero Our Man, known as Miraclo. Break you! Crack! Would you want to see Dave Bautista play Bane? I think that would be a good match there. Why did Mike bleep figs? It's short for fig. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that's what it was. Because the reason I bleeped, figs there, is because sometimes people use that as an alternative to a very similar looking word, if you get what I mean. Where one of the letters, the second letter, is replaced with another vowel. That's why I bleeped it. I thought that's what you may have been saying, but if I'm wrong, I apologize. The wicked Wiccan mind melted him to bleep, as I don't like figs. All right, so we'll get on to the next article here. Let's see, where are we at on time here? So it looks like we're making good time. We're really stretching things out of it there. We're like 3 of 5 through, so, and we're just past 54 minutes, so. All right, this is one that I found kind of interesting. Figured you guys might find this a little bit entertaining. So let's get down to this. Anonymous email sender spreads false rumor that former JAV actress Kaho Shibuya planned to host quote unquote anime sex party at Anime Matsuri. Now, I would be wondering what Nick and whoever else went to Anime Matsuri had to say about that. Heck, it would have been nice to hear what Leto had to say about that since he went there as well. Article by Spencer Piccoli, published earlier today. An Anime Matsuri staff member has adamantly refused the recent rumor that former Japanese adult video actress, Kaho Shibuya, first circulated in an email blast sent to Anime Matsuri attendees that she planned to host an after-hours, quote-unquote, anime sex party, unquote, as part of the convention's programming. Okay, yeah. I doubt very seriously if that would have. I don't think those who are running Anime Matsuri would be for that. Especially when you're considering you do have kids there. Sent to attendees on July 7th from a Gmail account purportedly belonging to an individual named Fuke Yori. Though this is likely a quote-unquote fake identity, given that the name itself appears to be a play on the phrase "bleep you," and claiming to have been authored by Shibuya herself. The email blast in question announced that former JAV star, I guess Japanese adult video star, and I'm guessing that means that I guess she was I guess she's a Japanese porn actress, I guess is what they're trying to suggest there, or a former Japanese porn actress, would be holding an quote-unquote anime sex party at 1 a.m. July 13th in Shibuya Crossing Stage for guests and artists, where I will give out the best AV experience for you guys in costume. Oh my god! Oh boy! I'm sure the local Houston officials would have been all like, "What the hell is going on?" Hey! Oh boy! And I don't believe the runners of Anime Matsuri would be too happy about that either. Look, Maymay's here. So let's see. With an emoji, which I have no idea, because that's her an emoji saying hi. Hey everyone, hey Maymay. And then Woody's here as well. Hey Woody. I guess you were lurking, I would imagine. As always, guys, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares, so I thank you for that. Let's see now. Let's get more of your comments here. Leto's here too. Hello. Hey everyone. Hey, hey everyone. Oh my god, the quote jobs they offer. Oh boy. Another emoji. Hey Mike, Toys, 80, Maymay, how are you? All right, hey, you got here just in time, Leto. You'd be the perfect person to answer this. Did you hear about some Japanese adult video actress? I guess there was some rumor that she was going to host an anime sex party. Did you hear about that? It supposedly happened at Anime Matsuri. Did you hear about that when you were there? Hi, Leto. While I wait for you to answer, I snuck in. As always, heading to work, but I'm listening while I drive to work. Yeah. Well, again, and I'm going to ask this again, Leto. Did you hear anything about some rumored anime sex party at Anime Matsuri? You were there, so maybe you did. That didn't happen. I would have stayed longer. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I guess I know it didn't happen because according to this, it was just a rumor. Anyways, let me. Anyways, no, I just wanted to ask you that because you actually were there. And this article is about that rumored anime sex party. So, and then 80 replying, laugh out loud. No, they had a hentai panel, but it was just to take just I guess a way to take sexy pictures. Just how to take sexy pictures. Okay. But when I read this, I figured you guys were going to want to hear this article. So let's see. Now figuring out where. Okay. Probably goes towards the idea. Last. Okay. Quote. In this party, me and quote, or not quote, but in brackets, Anime Matsuri, babies will offer oral copulation, manual copulation, and breast copulation with sexual conversations. Oh boy, yeah. My guess is if they actually did this, they would have got shut down. If Anime Matsuri did this, they would have got shut down. Oh my goodness. Unquote. The email explained, quote, at the end of the party, the luckiest person will spend a night with me at Marriott Marquis in Houston on July 14th with full service. Oh my God. Oh man. Somebody was trying to stir the pot here. Somebody was trying to stir the pot. Somebody was trying to sit there and get a whole bunch of guys excited. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Those poor hens. I don't know if you know this, Woody, but the term hentai in Japanese basically means porn. Hentai is an anime form that incorporates animated Japanese porn. Just in case you didn't know what hentai was. Anyways, they had a lot of girls practically naked, but it wasn't any porn JV artist, just fat white girls. Laugh out loud. Well, they did say this was a rumor that was eventually. No mic, hentai equals pervert. Well, I'd always heard it meant like Japanese porn, but it's just called porn over there. Yeah, but I would figure that Japanese have a specific word for it, and hentai might be the word that is commonly used as far as I know. But anyways, okay, so quote, this will be decided through a raffle which is available for everyone to participate, unquote. The post concluded, quote, anyone in bracket who wants to join the raffle can send the email with name and booth position to bracket Anime Matsuri Project and International Relations Lead Jacob Takahashi, unbracketed. Oh, I'm sure Jacob was real happy about this one. We got a bunch of emails about this. I am sure he must have been thrilled at this idea. Archive link, source Jacob Takahashi Twitter. So I guess he did get some some tweets about it. Oh boy. This bizarre message was brought to further widespread attention on social media when Takahashi himself shared a screenshot of the email to his personal Twitter account and stated that the entirety of its contents were quote unquote totally fake. Yeah, I mean it almost seems like somebody was trying to stir the pot there. It's like somebody was trying to cause some kind of stir there for whatever reason. Quote, this is hilarious. If you get this email, in parentheses, I think it goes without saying, but, unparenthesed, it's totally fake, unquote, wrote Takahashi. Quote, it's insane the lengths some groups go to LMAO, unquote. Takahashi then further clarified that, quote, any communication from me about the convention to my guest will come from an, quote, at http animematsuri.com email address. Not some random Gmail account, obviously. Which is true. But this must have been this must have been somewhat of a nightmare for him. I mean, he's got to sit there. Oh, great! Who was this clown who got all these people sending me these emails? Great. Got a whole bunch of people thinking that this is going to happen. Now I got to deal with it. That's probably what he was thinking. In a follow-up thread published by Takanashi, I guess not Takahashi, Takanashi, after receiving an email inquiry regarding the email from Anime News Network executive editor Lindsay Loveridge, everybody's favorite little lady, who asked such questions as, quote, what regulations are being considered to ensure the safety and health of the sex workers at the party? Unquote. Oh my god. Oh, even the big dogs at Anime News Network were taken in by this. Sheesh. Ay, ay, ay. And asked for details on Shibuya's listed quote-unquote hentai fest panel. The Anime Matsuri staff member publicly responded to Loveridge's message, beginning with the declaration, quote, the email sent out was from an outside source, unquote, meaning somebody not associated with Anime Matsuri, you twit. Hey, Lindsay, look a little closer at the email next time, you little twit. Oh, boy. And I only believe in Nigerian princesses' emails. Mike, from what I've heard, Japanese people are confused why we use the word hentai is it translates to pervert in Japanese. Um, so yeah, well, I mean, again, I can only go on what I've heard and know, heard from the community over the years. Maybe you got to remember there's always two definitions to every word. There's always the denotative meaning, which means a dictionary definition, and a connotative meaning. Maybe we're both right. You know, maybe what the denotative meaning or the dictionary meaning or actual Japanese dictionary meaning may mean pervert, but maybe from a more of a interpretive use or connotative use, maybe it has implied to mean porn because there are many people out there who would of course consider porn to be perverted, right? There are many people who would argue that people who watch porn are perverts. So, as I said, words usually have at least two meanings. There's the dictionary definition or the denotative meaning, and the interpretive or how it's used, the connotative meaning. So that's something to also bear in mind in those situations. Okay, so anyways, porn is natural. Okay. Quote, likely somebody trying to stir up a rumor, um, which is also what I was suggesting as we were reading the article. The quote unquote sex party was not, nor will it ever be a thing at the con, unquote, said Takanashi. Quote, it was never planned and it is a complete fabrication. Hentai Fest is an 18 plus panel hosted by Ms. Shibuya, where people often poke fun at absurd moments in Japanese hentai. Sometimes there is a Q&A about the industry. It's a commonplace at many conventions. So there is a hentai fest, but it's not what at least this one rumor was trying to indicate. It's probably, I think Leto was the one who suggested earlier that it was probably just something where people were just learning how to take, more risque photos or something like that. He continued, noting that, quote, there is no public information because the party was a fabrication, unquote. The, quote, AM babies, quote unquote, it's actually babes. Whoever fabricated the email must not have done their research, are a dance squad, okay, who perform at some of our main events, unquote. Which, you do have, sometimes, I mean, look, you have models, you have dance troops that, maybe help spice things up a little bit, get people excited, before repeating a total of 4 times in the hopes that the message would be communicated. Quote, the sex party was a fabrication, unquote. I guess here's that part of the tweet there. I mean, I can understand this guy's frustration. It's like somebody decided they were going to have a little fun at Anime Matsu's expense by getting a whole lot of people excited about something that was never going to come to fruition. I mean, it's just bad because it's like, one, you get people expecting something to happen that doesn't happen, and then they feel cheated. And then the con gets blamed for it because they didn't follow through, even though it wasn't the con's idea. And even if it was the con's idea, there is no way in the world that it would have been allowed to happen. Okay? There's no way that I think the city of Houston would have allowed something like that to go down at an anime convention, especially when you're considering that, yeah, they may say it's an 18 plus panel, but there's always that chance that that kids may stumble upon it, even if it is late night and all that. There's no way I don't think Anime Matsuri is going to let that happen. And even if they did, I don't think the city of Houston would have let that happen. So, anyways, back just finished up Malady video for Monday and gave Jeremiah a huge box of vintage Kenner Batman toys. A look on his face was worth every penny. Well, that's cool, toys. Hey there, Leto. You handsome man, you. Hey there, May, beautiful lady. Hey, Woody, you tall, dark, and beautiful lad. Okay, so anyways, getting back to the article here. Quote, also to add, the convention takes place July 8th through the 11th, unquote, wrote Takanashi. Therefore, there will be no, quote, Shibuya Crossing, unquote, stage on the 13th, as the convention will have ended 2 days earlier. Let's see. So July 3rd, actually, it's kind of funny because July 13th was actually on a Tuesday. Now that I think of it, it was 2 days ago. So yeah, that even I didn't pick up on that, and that should have been something that anybody would have picked up on. Very rarely does any convention have any portion of it. There aren't a whole lot, like, okay, the only conventions I know of that might have had where they were operating on a Tuesday, I've heard of at least a couple of like anime cruises that have happened where they're like a 2-week period where you go on a cruise, but it's like one big anime convention cruise or whatever. But obviously, yeah, I mean, he makes a very interesting point here. They're saying that it happened on the 13th, it would have happened on the 13th, which would have been like on a Tuesday or 2 days ago. So that, I didn't even pick that up. So anyways, getting back to the article here. In conclusion to his second thread, Takanashi added, quote, it should also be known that the likely culprit behind this fabricated email is a gentleman who has been stalking and spreading false rumors about Kaho for the past few years, unquote, and linked to a thread written by Shibuya herself in which she detailed her experience with being stalked and harassed by an individual by the name of, quote, Lee Min Triet, alias Triet Jerry Lee Min, unquote. So, at least what they're saying there, it sounds like this guy was trying to stir up trouble for the girl there, trying to cause her problems, which is totally uncool. Kaho herself addressed the email on July the 8th, which was, of course, last Thursday, writing on her personal Twitter account that, quote, some are worried about a spam chain email pretending to me in which my manager's name is stated as this guy, unquoted, referring to the aforementioned treat. Let's see. While the actual email lists one, quote, Robert Bell, unquote, as Kaho's manager. Yeah, a Japanese actress, that would be kind of strange. Japanese actress who's based in Japan being represented by somebody with an English name. That, I mean, it's not totally impossible, but that would seem kind of out of the ordinary. It appears that Kaho believes this name is a pseudonym being used by Triet. Sounds like twit. Sounds like this is another twit. So Shibuya Kaho. However, despite both Takanashi and Kaho's public and vocal denial of not only the message's veracity, but also the fact that no such event was ever planned for Anime Matsuri, some parentheses, particularly those who may have already been keeping quote-unquote tabs on the convention due to the invitation and subsequent appearance of former Dragon Ball voice actor Vince Mignogna as a special guest. Unparentheses. Of course, Lindsay Loveridge's comments continue to exhibit skepticism towards his response. In other words, of course, these people think that Anime Matsuri would do this, but I think most people would. One such skeptic was former Channel Awesome content creator Kaylin Marsgirl Sashay. Oh, here we go again. I haven't heard this name in so freaking long, and now we got to hear from this twit. Kaylin Marsgirl Saucedo, who wrote to her personal Twitter account, quote, Jacob claims it's fake, but if and stars, it isn't, parentheses, and it appears that at least a handful of Anime Matsuri guests received this email, whether real or not, unparentheses. It implicates the AV idol, her managers, the AM chairs, and the host of the car show in soliciting prostitution, a crime in Texas, unquote. Which is why they didn't do it, you freaking twit. You know, the KVers are going to come out and try. They're going to once again start this storm that, you know, that Anime Matsuri is a haven for sex pest again. You know it's coming. And I hear from Mars Girl and all the rest. Hookers in Texas? Okay, the fact that the guy who was responsible for the events and the girl who was supposedly involved in it denied this, and considering that the date was off by a couple of days, that no convention or not a whole lot of conventions even are active on Tuesdays. Mars Girl actually thought this wasn't fake. She's a twit. She's a twitiot. Oh my goodness. However, hours later, Salcedo admitted that she may have been too quick to judgment, writing, quote, so okay, what's messy is this very likely could have been internal sabotage since they have a whole list of guest vendors that this went out to, unquote. Though she also attempted to justify her vocal skepticism by blaming the fact that, quote, the con has had so many problems for almost 15 years that it's such an easy thing to believe, unquote. Only in your mind, only in your mind, you twit. On July 11th, which was this past Sunday, Takanashi reported that yet another, quote, totally fake, unquote, email blast, presumably from the same sender, was sent out. In this email, it assured recipients that the adult event, quote, is still proceeding, unquote, and that Takanashi's post was made, quote, to placate negative public opinion, unquote. There's only one thing wrong with that. Again, the convention would have already been over. He pointed out that this event was supposedly going to happen on the 13th, which was 2 days ago. The event would have already been over by 2 days. And if Mars Girl didn't see that part of it and realize, hey, the convention's not even happening and this is still happening, she's really stupid then. In this email, in response to this new email, Takanashi informed his followers, quote, looks like whoever sent this email is doubling down. This one is totally fake too, unquote. Yeah, I wouldn't even believe, I would not, it would not, I would have no doubts that Mars Girl and a few of the other KVers would be getting on this bandwagon to actually help push this to try to ruin Matsuri because they sided with Vic. So yeah, I mean, and I've been ranting a lot through this article just because it is just sheer absurdity right here on the part of the person who sent the email, on people like Mars Girl, who just, again, I guess Mars Girl must have been getting lonely or something like that to decide to chime in on this, because now we've just spent time talking about that twit-idiot. So, let's see. So, quote, if you want to come to the GRB on the 13th to, quote, unquote, Shibuya crossing stage and verify for yourself if the party is happening, you're more than welcome, said Takanashi. Quote, it will be a wasted trip. Because nobody from the con will be there because the party does not, nor has it ever existed, unquote. I kind of wonder, you have to kind of wonder if anybody actually did show up for that. Oh boy. He also took a moment to push back against the harassment he and his wife have been receiving, telling those who have engaged in such behavior, quote, also, please stop messaging my wife. She is 9 months pregnant and does not need the stress, unquote. Yeah, that's not cool. Man, KV's at it again. These jerk-offs are at it again. Now they're harass. I I don't even know if his wife has anything to do with the con at all, other than the fact that her husband's part of the staff there. And I got to go bugging her. Man, what a bunch of nimrods. Now, it's kind of funny because Tug, I did listen to Tug. I did go back and watch Tug's stream from Friday night, Saturday morning, and he talked about um, how most people are doing this, where we just laugh at the stupid, you know. And I'm usually not one of the ones who does that. I mean, I will call people out like this when we get articles up. I just don't go looking for these articles as much as maybe people like Flash does. I mean, I do prefer to put more of a positive spin on things, as Tug pointed out, because, that's what we should be focusing on. I mean, yes, it is fun once in a while when you have stories like this to laugh at idiots like Mars Girl, you know, but when the day is done, that should not be the heft of what you're being entertained by. And I do agree with Tug on that. We should try to find more pleasant things to talk about rather than all the BS that's out there coming from like SJWs and people like Mars Girl and all that. So both Takanashi and Kaho believe the culprit behind the emails to be Triet. As of writing, there has been no public confirmation as to the identity of the original sender. What do you make of the fake email sent to Anime Matsuri attendees? Let us know. Well, I think basically somebody was trying to stir something up. Somebody, whether it was this treat guy, the guy had been stalking this young woman, or hey, maybe it was Mars Girl, or something. Maybe Mars Girl herself actually did this. Maybe she was the one who did this as some way to get attention. I wouldn't put it past her. Agree, Mike. Why I took a break from the internet can be so. Yeah, a lot of it can be. That's why usually when not to say that I won't do stories like this. I mean, I do when they come up, and I've been critical of people at times when I've had to, and I've had some, and I've usually done it in a more justifiable way. But sometimes it's okay once in a while to laugh at the stupid, but it's not. It shouldn't, as Tug said, and I agree with him on that. It should not be the bulk of what you do. Yes, it would be nice to find stuff that you actually enjoy that isn't negative. Like what I do when I read the comics, when I go back. That's probably the reason why why I'm doing the historical comic retrospect, because we see so much negativity in the comics that are coming out right now. Sometimes it's nice to go back and see what drove our passions to comics or cartoons in the first place. You know, so. So, anyways, moving on to so we do have, we're just past the hour and a half mark, so probably ending soon, but at least I got through. There's one more article I want to get to. Let's go, kind of connecting back to classic cartoons. This is a cartoon that some of us probably did grow up watching. Apparently, there's a company called Nacelle Company that is going to be rebooting this series, as companies have been rebooting old classic series, which I don't really like the idea of that. What's wrong? You people can't come up with something new to do. You gotta go back and take the good that was in the past and try to ruin it, rebooting it with your own sensibilities. Anyways, so here we go. So The Nacelle Company announces reboot of 80s Rankin-Bass animated sci-fi series Silverhawks. Of course, Silverhawks came out around the same time, maybe a year after Thundercats did. And oftentimes they were usually paired together. If you would come home after school, you'd watch Thundercats, and then usually you'd get a chance to watch Silverhawks as well. Article written by Spencer Piccoli, and this was published yesterday, the 14th. So here we go. The lesser-known but still beloved 1980s Rankin-Bass animated sci-fi series Silverhawks will soon be receiving a revival from the Nacelle Company. You see a picture from the 1986 series Rankin-Bass Animated Entertainment. The Nacelle Company, whose library of productions include Disney Plus's Behind the Attraction and Netflix's The Movies That Made Us and The Toys That Made Us, announced on July 9th, which was last Friday, that they had partnered with Silverhawks LLC and current IP holder Super 7 to revive the cult classic series. Airing for one season in 1986, Silverhawks followed the titular team of metal-bodied heroes as they fought to protect their galaxy from the machinations of an intergalactic crime syndicate run by the millionaire mobster Monstar. Moonstar of Limbo. Give me the might, the muscle, the menace of Monstar. I know some of you remember that. The bad guys had some pretty cool monologues there at times. Anyways, as we continue on here, whose villainy regularly brings him into conflict with Commander Stargazer and his team of futuristic lawmen. So there you go. In the picture there from left to right, with his back to you, that's Tallyhawk. The copper-looking little guy right there, that's the Copper Kid. Guy in a cowboy hat was Colonel Bluegrass. A guy, just in front of the other three there, that's Quicksilver, the one in the silver, and then the two right there are Steel Will and Steel Heart, the twins. Speaking with Deadline, Super 7 founder and owner Brian Flynn told the entertainment trade outlet that, quote, Silverhawks is a beloved franchise that has been overlooked for far too long, unquote. Quote, we are super excited to be working with Nacelle to bring Silverhawks back into the limelight for diehard fans, as well as a new generation of fans to experience the magic of Silverhawks for the first time. There's Steel Heart right there. And the thing about Steel Heart and Steel Will, apparently in the process of turning them from humans into, like, essentially cyborgs here, their actual hearts had to be replaced by literal steel hearts, by metal hearts. So they were the only characters that had to happen to, apparently. Flynn's sentiments were echoed by the Nacelle Company founder and CEO Brian Volk Weiss, who exclaimed, quote, when I spoke with Brian Flynn the first time, I was like the character Yes Man. Yes. Just tell me where to sign. Yes Man was a snake character, by the way. As of writing, details on the show are scarce, and as such, Both casting details and distribution plans currently remain unavailable. Are you excited about the Silverhawks revival? Let us know. Well, I just hope they don't sit there and try to make it all woke. That'd be my only objection to it. So there we go. There are the stories tonight. We've got through them, and yeah. So, and then I mean that Surrey story though was kind of interesting. Hour 40. So let's see. So May said, "Hey there, ATC." Laugh a lot. Hey May. At the action towards May. I was in the bathroom, wasn't at the screen. Did Rankin-Bass do a Christmas show years ago? Named scenes to Rankin. Yes, they did. Actually, yeah. Rankin-Bass did a few Christmas specials. In fact, 80 back in the 70s, including, let's see, Frosty the Snowman. Like some of the classics, like Frosty the Snowman. They did a version of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Little Drummer Boy. Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Some of those that were like kind of more stop motion claymation kind of things. They did some of those. They did, as I said, Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So yeah, they did a number of those Christmas specials. They're probably in some ways more famous for those than for Thundercats and Silverhawks. Okay, Rankin-Bass did those Christmas specials that you just asked about. They did Thundercats and they did Silverhawks. So, interesting show indeed. Laugh out loud. All right, guys. Well, we're coming up. We're at an hour 42 already here. So, I think it would be a good time to start winding down a bit. I hope you guys have been enjoying the show tonight. So, are you all ready for this day in Nietzsche history? Fireball XL. Was that another Rankin-Bass classic, Woody? So are you all ready for this day in Nietzsche history? Yes, I am. From the 80. Okay. Let's see. Give other people a chance to respond. Again, I do thank you all for all the likes and shares, helping me get the more people in here. Okay, so let's see. Yes, I'm ready. Okay, so without no further ado, today being Thursday, July the 15th, 2021, let's take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. So first off, we're going to go back 50 years ago today on a bit of a sadder note, of course. On this day in 1971, 50 years ago today, Bill Thompson, who was an American radio personality and voice actor, probably known best for his role as the voice of Droopy in the MGM cartoons from 1943 to 1958. He passed away on this date at the age of 58 from septic shock. So on this day in 1971, Bill Thompson, American radio personality and voice actor, who most famously did the voice of Droopy in the MGM cartoons, passed away on this date at the age of 58. Moving on to the next piece in each history. On this date in 1998, the 725th issue of Detective Comics went on sale in DC for $1.99 for 30. It was 32 pages. The story was At the End of the Day, written by Chuck Dixon, who we talked about earlier, the Bane creator, penciled by William Rosaldo, inked by Tom Patner. John Costanza did the lettering, and the coloring done by Gloria Vasquez. So on this date, 23 years ago today, the 725th issue of Detective Comics went on sale on that day. R.I.P. Droopy Poodle, 1971. I can only hope to have a wiki page when I expire. So anyways, with that, let's move on to the next piece of niche history as we move ahead to 2001. As on this date in 2001, let's see. Yes, I should probably make this a little bigger so you guys can see this a little better. See the part I was... On this date in 2001, Vampiro, professional wrestler Vampiro, defeated Sabu for the Juggalo Championship Wrestling heavyweight title. R.I.P. Thank you, Mimi. No problem. Vampiro defeated Sabu for the Juggalo Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. Juggalo Championship Wrestling, of course, was the wrestling organization that was founded in the late 90s, early 2000s by the Insane Clown Posse. And, of course, Vampiro did a lot of work with the Insane Clown Posse. So, in both WCW and in their promotion, Juggalo Championship Wrestling. So there we go with that one. And one last piece of niche history to look at before we head out. That was, of course, 20 years ago that happened. So on this date in 2006, 15 years ago today, the anime... let me see. Trying to find the production. Madhouse's anime movie, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, was released on this date in 2006, 15 years ago today. Madhouse's anime film, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, was released on this date in 2006, 15 years ago today. So I thank everybody again for being here tonight, for all the likes and shares. Really help get the word out. Don't forget, tomorrow night is our weekly look at at the history of comics. Tomorrow night we'll be finishing up 1937, back to December 37, looking at the books that went on sale from Quality Comics, and those are feature funnies numbers 4 and 5. We'll be focusing in on, of course, number 5. Batgoat will, of course, hopefully be with me. And Batgoat, if you're still here and listening, I'll be sending you the email sometime tomorrow afternoon with the link to where you can, hopefully you can be here a little early. We can talk. Anyways, guys, I thank you again. I always look forward to doing this with you guys every night during the week. And I hope to see you back here tomorrow night. Let's see. Let's finish up seeing what people said. No problem, Mike. Thank you, Meme. And then thank you for the stream, man. No problem. Hey, I'm always here. So, anyways, guys, I thank you all again for everything. I hope to join in. I do like history of comics. Don't forget, it's always 7 o'clock. So, anyways, guys, thank you again for being here, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.